Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and before we get into the deck, I want to thank my sponsor, Cool Stuff Inc., for stepping up, supporting the channel. Please give them a shot. CGB5 is your promo code for 5% off. And I want to say that we're going to announce the winner of the giveaway for a $25 Cool Stuff Inc. gift code. From the video a few days ago where I asked you to leave me a comment with your favorite MTG video on YouTube. We're going to announce the winner at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. And now we dive into the deck. This deck is one of the first commission decks I've done in a while. A new $30 a month patron, Tayega, has stepped up and supported the channel with a $30 a month I'm so choked up, I can't even talk. A $30 a month pledge to support yours truly in my content creating. And one of the perks of the $30 a month pledge is I play a deck of your choice if that is what you want me to do. And this is the deck I have been sent. So when you look at the deck at first, we check it out, and we see that there is Chandras and Sarkhans and Chandra's regulators and Sarkhans, and the question kind of becomes, what are we doing? Are we a big red deck? Are we a Sarkhan dragon deck? Are we a Chandra tribal planeswalker deck? And the actual truth of the matter is that this deck is built around specifically getting the Sarkhan ultimate. That is the -7 to create 4/5/5 dragon creature tokens with flying. Now, I do admire the going for it. Generally, you can't value a planeswalker based on their ultimate. If you can ultimate the planeswalker, that's usually a win more situation. But this deck actually does have a way to kind of steamroll to it, with Chandra Acolyte of Flame putting an extra loyalty counter on your planeswalkers, and Chandra's regulator copying that ability to put 2 loyalty counters on a planeswalker. So it can move pretty fast. But there is also there's a lot of things to the deck that I think I would change. So I'm going to make a few edits before we go out there and battle. First, I'm going to cut Goblin Chain Whirler. Not because Chain Whirler is a bad card. Chain Whirler is a good card, but because I want to play this in a standard shakeup, where I think we'll have a better chance of doing our nonsense. Then I'm going to add 2 more lands. That was easy mode for me. I definitely don't like running a deck like this on 22 lands. I'm not sure I like it on 24 land. You may need even more than that, especially with Sarkhan the Masterless in the deck. But as the only 5-drop, maybe we can get away with it. So Sarkhan's Whelp. This is a card I almost never play with, and it works with any Sarkhan ability that can be activated because it can deal 1 damage to any target. At the same time, when you compare it to other cards, it's not nearly as strong as some other ways to sweep up the opponent. I'm not sure if I want to keep that around. Then we have these Dragon Eggs. When they die, create a 2/2 dragon creature token with flying. These best combine with cards like Dragon Horde, which can then get a counter on it and tap to draw a card to get you deeper into your deck, which we could add to the deck. It does take us from 3 to 5 for Sarkhan, but you'll notice we don't have many other mana outlets or other ways to use our mana. What we also lack are other large dragons, which is one of the joys of Sarkhan Fireblood, is that you can play huge dragons ahead of schedule. This particular build doesn't actually play many dragons, which is, to me, a little bit of a hole in the deck. We could drive for a more dragon-heavy strategy, or we could trim it back. What should we do? I am going to trim the Fry. I like its inclusion a bit. Actually, I don't think it, but I think that this card is best for killing Teferis. And we're not going to be having any Teferis in the Standard Showdown. So I think that that is a fair trim. Let's get a Spitflame in there, because whenever a Dragon Egg or a Sarkhan's Whelp enters the battlefield, we can pay a red to return the Spitflame to our hand. And we do need to keep the opponent's creatures dead. There are 4 Direfleet Daredevils to mess with the opponent's spells. We've got Shocks, Lava Coils, and Lightning Strikes to fend them off. Now we have a Spitflame that's recursible, and we have some blockers in the form of Dragon's Egg, and a way to ping away their small creatures in the form of Sarkhan's Whelp. Flame Sweep itself can also wipe out hordes of things. So I think the key for this deck will be drawing the actual strong cards, drawing the Sarkhan Fireblood and keeping it around. I'm curious to see if we can go ultimate this baby and make Taiga. Dang it, do I have to re-record? Taiga wouldn't want me to make Taiga proud. All right, off to battle. Draw a land, play our hand. All right, this is where having 24 lands in the deck matters. If our opponent comes out fast and furious, hopefully we can flame sweep him. A lightning strike can keep the Ajani's Pride Mate at bay. Red-white. Impassioned Orator, yep. Lots of life gain decks out in this event. It seems as though people are just like, they banned all these cards. Is my life gain deck good? Good old life gain beats. I do have a life gain beats deck I'm working on. I'm honestly trying to unlock all the mythics for the Ajani's. Flame Sweep loves this. Flame Sweep encourages this type of behavior. So we can save our lightning strike for later. I can play the Whelp because this deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying, so the Whelp can come down. The Dragon Egg could also come down to save me some damage, but then we'd sweep it up. So come on down, little guy. I can tell you might be very helpful in combination with Sarkhan Fireblood against these tiny creatures. Not only that, opponents always relax when they see the Whelp. They're like, that's an intro pack. I ain't gotta worry. Opponent's reading our little dragon friend. Oh, wow, you really don't like whelps. Whelp. All right. We could play one of our Firebloods just to get deeper in our deck. We could also just play an egg to put off some of the damage. I would love to see my opponent commit a little more to the board for the Flame Sweep. But we're at 14, and their next creature might be a large one. This is a tough call. I think I'll say go and see what our opponent does. If they play more small creatures, the Flame Sweep's extra juicy, so I might even take the damage from an attack for 4. But Heroic Reinforcements here would... Oh my goodness, would that be nice. A Captivating Crew. That must die. We have a Lightning Strike to do it. And our opponent tapped out for the turn. We might as well not let them gain the extra 1 life from the Orator, so we'll Flame Sweep them now. Mountain off the top. Let's see. If we play a Dragon's Egg, the opponent can spend their whole turn stealing it and attacking the Sarkhan. They would attack the Sarkhan for 4. The Sarkhan would be at 4. Sarkhan would die. Not the greatest use of the card. We're better off lightning striking this away. Should we do it on our turn? Should we just do it now? The other option is we can lava coil this and then have a lightning strike open for the next play our opponent makes, but what if it has 4 toughness? Then we'll have regrets. I'll take this route, make the opponent keep the pressure on, see what their next play is. It's a little bit of a slower route through the opponent's defenses, or not their defenses, their aggressive cards. Their offenses? Who says that? Nobody says that. It's a slower route to work our way through their threats, but it's the one that makes sure that they're not playing something we can't deal with, such as a 4 toughness creature for the lightning strike. Rats. That's not good. Okay, it's good. I lied. We're fine. This is fine. We drew the only other Flame Sweep in our deck. It's good. It's good magic. All right, opponent wants to come in. Do we take this hit? The opponent might play more creatures afterwards. But even if they do, we're up so many cards at this point that trading 1 for 1 I think is okay. Like right now it's 5 cards versus 2 versus 1. And it's a Boros Challenger. The opponent does have the mana to pump the Challenger to 4 toughness. So that Lava Coil play from a while ago coming all the way back around. All the way back around. And now we're 1 mana away from dropping Sarkhans. If the opponent draws another hard to deal with threat, we're going to have to start throwing eggs in front of it. So it's on the opponent now to draw the right cards, and they missed. So let's get this Sarkhan out there. Let's play an egg. Let's build the defenses. Then we can play this Sarkhan and attack with this Sarkhan, which, you know, that's special. Sarkhan's working together from across the planes at different timelines. That's all still weird to me. I mean, they even say legendary planeswalker on them. There was a time where you couldn't have two Sarkhans on the battlefield at the same time, even if they had different names. I don't know. It's still strange to me that Sarkhan can just hang out with Sarkhan from across the blind eternities. What do you guys think of that? Anyway, repeating barrage strikes my face. Love it. So this says, whenever you activate the loyal ability of a Chandra Planeswalker, which we don't have right now, but I guess we'll just get to the beats. Let's discard a card. I'm going to discard this Dragon's Egg. I like having a backup Sarkhan ready to go. I'm going to hold this Mountain. We can discard it to the Regulator. We don't need more mana, really. And I'm going to hit the opponent with this Sarkhan. I could minus this Sarkhan to make a dragon, but I don't want the repeating barrage or some other lightning strikes type thing to take out the Masterless. I think having a high loyalty total will be better since our opponent might play other burn spells. Opponent's reading my Sarkhan and my Sarkhan. Which Sarkhan do we want to do violence against? All right. Let's discard a card to draw a card. There's a Lava Coil. Let's plus you and send the pain. All right, hit. We might get to ultimate this after all. We have a Karn's Bastion activation, or we could play the Chandra's Regulator. I think that the Bastion activation is just better because next turn we can make a lot of dragons. 4 or 5/5 dragons. It's pretty gross stuff. And then we actually did what the deck was here to do. Submit those. I'm just going to do it now, not risk turning... Well, I guess the opponent could bolt this anyway. We may as well attack first. I was trying to think of a spell that would only damage creatures. I guess a Bombard, a Spit Flame like we have in our deck would be it. But here we go. Get all that value. You're still alive? You're still alive. So are you gonna die when... Oh man, if I had proliferated, you'd still be alive. Oh, that's so funny to me. I don't know why. That is cracking me up. Anyway. Let's drop off you. Another Sarkhan, sure. Now it dies. That's kind of cool. I had not seen a Planeswalker with no loyalty kept alive by a Sarkhan activation before. We are learning a lot today. This video is really working out. Act of treason. How dare you steal my dragon? Why aren't they flaps? They're supposed to be flying. Can I block you with my Dragon's Egg if you're not flying? It says you're flying. Oh, take 4. Sarkhan triggers. It doesn't kill this dragon. That would be hilarious, but it's pretty good stuff. I will consume you. Rah. Back comes the repeating barrage because you attacked with a dragon, but now you die. Stevens. Got there. All right, we've got early Regulator, 2 removal spells, and a Daredevil. I'm gonna try it. Hope if we can't draw land, maybe Regulator can help us get there. I'm ready. Rugged Highlands, gain that sweet, sweet 1 life. You gotta keep them regulated. Regulators, we regulate any stealing of their property. We're real good too. but you can't be any geek off the street. Regulators, mount up. Anybody else want some 90s hip-hop references? I got that. All right. Find me a land. What are we discarding? How about this 5-drop? I actually don't know if these Daredevils are going to be any good in the matchup. I'm going to start with a Daredevil. Land. Ho-ha. Well, we have a rugged mountain man. Or woman. Marquise 86. What you got? Gruul Spell Breaker. Do you haste or do you 4/4 smash? Against red, I always go 4/4. Or I usually go 4/4, I should say. Now, we can't lightning strike you. You're hexproof. That lightning strike is lit up in case we just wanted to lightning strike ourselves. All right, let's go ahead and regulate. Definitely don't need that many Sarkans, I don't think. There's a Chandra. Let's get you dead. And now we're trying to make time and space and room to get enough lands to play our powerful things and use their effects. If the opponent attacks us with enough creatures in the meantime, though, that could be hard. That could be real hard. It's a Scorch Spitter. It's a Spitfire. Okay. So now I'm thinking we're lightning striking the Spitfire. We're going to keep regulating to try to hit our land drop. And this Sarkhan's Whelp is kind of a baby, so you can go. It's not going to be particularly strong against a Gruul style deck. We hit our Bastion, that's good. And now we'll see if we can get our opponent to move in on the Spitfire. There is some risk though. Actually, a Collision Colossus or a card like that could really hurt us. Like, basically put us out of the game if we have to take a hit from this Spitfire. So I'm going to lightning strike the Spitfire now, just in case the opponent plays some kind of a pump spell. It's the arena. It's the standard shakeup event. We don't know what's in their deck. Could be all kinds of things. I do know that if I get hit by a giant Spitfire, my odds of winning the game go down quickly. We have some lightning strikes in the graveyard, but not a shock. That is big, and that is a problem. We need our opponent to put something in the graveyard we can use against them, and these are all creatures, so nothing for the Direfleet Daredevil. Freaking 5/6. What a boss. So if I can untap with my Chandra, I can double lightning strike the Cavalier of Thorns, then my opponent gets back some other big monster that we have to deal with. It's pretty brutal. So I guess I put you on the field. I need you to last a turn. So I need to go 0. We need to not use the Regulator's ability. And we need to put a Daredevil out to chump block the Cavalier. And that's how we get the Cavalier off the battlefield, because I don't think we can straight up fight with it. Some Dragon's Eggs, actually, would be good draws. The opponent has the shock. They get rid of the Direfleet Daredevil. Now Chandra dies. The sadness induced. The opponent has Chandra of their own. This is looking like an absolute beating. The plus can give the elementals a bonus. May as well. Can hurt me pretty bad.
I just want to hug all those fire critters.
Oh, Chandra. Oh, some of your voice lines, though. So annoying. Well, are you going to kill Chandra or me? Oh, we've elected that Chandra must die at the expense of a lot of damage. Maybe? I think the opponent is toying with us.
Consider this bridge burned.
Yeah, I'm considering it burned. I see what you did there. All right. Flame Sweep doesn't help us much. I suppose we can play Sarkhan and make a dragon. At this point, I think we're just stalling. The deck doesn't have a comeback mechanism. It has to keep up on the board. So it plays like a control deck for the first part of the game quite a bit, because when you're down, there's not much you can do. And we are down. We are down a 5-6 booty. And the opponent has the answer yet again. Think that is a easy concede. So, creatures with big booties. Kryptonite. Good to know. Alright, the combo, so to speak, is here, but there's no way of interacting with the opponent, and we're on the draw again, which it does say a lot about if you can win best of 1 games. You have to be on the play sometimes. Alright, our opponent with a blue-white land, and we did draw an interactive spell. So let's see where this goes. And we lose. Cerulean Drake has protection from red, and the opponent is main decking it against our mono-red deck. Well, guys, sometimes, guys and one gal out there, sometimes you just get wrecked. The opponent has the eagle to buff it up. So we need to strike that eagle, and we need to regulate. Discarding the regulator itself is probably where we're at. But let's get this struck before the opponent gets to untap and do anything with it. And pass the turn. But yeah, we have no way to interact with this Drake. It's going to attack us until we die, so we need to get something big on the board to attack our opponent instead, or keep the Drake busy with planeswalkers. Those are the only things that can make sense. Drop off this regulator. We shouldn't need another one. There's a Sarkhan's Whelp. There's another Sarkhan's Whelp. So we can play this Sarkhan. Can plus you for 2 mana. And we can get one of our little dragons on the field. Now, if we untap with a Sarkhan, we can start Chandra pumping it up and try to get to our ultimate, which is the evil plot of the deck. But it doesn't look like that's going to work out. The opponent pulls another 3/4 eagle. We have another whelp, though. That can deal 2 damage with each activated ability. So I think I can do it like this. We don't have another dragon. It's not going to kill this thing, right? So if I activate this now, it deals 1. Then I play this. Then I play this, it deals 2. That's not enough. We have a lightning strike in the yard, but we don't have the mana to use it. Tough call. I do think we want to get the whelp on the field. 2 mana, any combination. Target the face, because we're not going to be able to kill off the eagle here. This Chandra, this Sarkhan is going to die, I believe. If it's going to die anyway, I shouldn't bother playing out another one. But I could play this little Chandra plus her to 5. Then the opponent would have to double attack the Chandra. They don't want to attack the eagle into the whelps. Let's try it. Tough turn. I'm really curious to see what happens next. There's a lot of things we're weak to from the opponent. Another favorable wins definitely counts as one of those things. That is brutal. All right, so we let these blocks go. No blocks. Because we get to keep our Chandra and we have backup Sarkhans. All right, no spells down here, right? Nope. The Daredevils have been really disappointing because we played against creature matchups. All right, so we get 2 activations. We get an activation here. That's 2 damage to any target. But not enough damage to do anything really great. Let's loot. We could go after the eagle, just hoping to get there. I don't know what we could draw, though. Actually, I don't think that there's anything we can draw.
I know what I'm doing.
Drop off the Daredevil. Draw another Chandra. Okay. Let's build some counters. Let's pay the 1 for the regulator. Up to 6. And no attacks will hold back. But why? I guess attacking is valuable here. But leaving one back to potentially chump the eagle might make sense if the opponent attacks awkwardly. The straight up race is interesting though. We're kind of facing a 2-turn clock from these, but we have a pretty good damage engine going. And there's the opponent not attacking the Chandra. Huh. Choices matter, choices matter. What's it gonna be? Life's full of tough choices. All right, so here we can block and protect Fireblood and then ultimate Fireblood, right? Right.
I don't have enough swears right now.
So,
Won't lie.
loyalty counter on each planeswalker. Why not regulate?
I can't believe Mother Ludi gave us
Dragons. Ping. Opponent with the nice. I can't believe we got there in the face of a pro-red creature. I'm kind of blown away. All right. Might as well get in with our whelp. You've been holding down the fort well, little guy. You've been holding down the fort for the big old dragons to show up. Hanged Executioner. Those are some big spirits. This is gonna be a proper battle, I think. I mean, we kind of even the playing field with these giant dragons. Our opponent still has a pro-red Drake. We still have 2 planeswalkers, 16 to 12. Double favorable wins. And is this Sephara? It is. Wait a minute. You have a 10/10 flying lifelinker. We have a lightning strike in the yard, but the opponent has a Cerulean Drake that can counter a spell that targets you. I'm trying to think if I want another Sark in here, but I don't think that's the play. Another Chandra. What's the play, you guys? How do we get this damage in? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can get this back up to 5 loyalty. Man, if I had kept this, I think I could have almost ultimated it again. We have a lightning strike to get back, but only 1. So copying the ability with the regulator doesn't do it. What if we make 4 1/1s? 1, 2, 3, 4, then make another 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 damage. This is 9. The opponent blocks here, they go to 22. Then they take 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 plus 8 is 26. I think we have lethal? So, pay 1.
say hi to my fiery friends.
Play another Chandra.
What's better than having plans?
Make more.
Basically,
Now, I could go, remember, I could go for the lightning strike, but that's not the play. The lightning strike can be countered by the Drake. Let's discard a card, draw a card. Let's, oops, ping face.
Madness. What madness?
All right, to battle. If I did my maths right, we can get there. Oh my God, we did it. What a game. How did we win that game against turn 2 Cerulean Drake? How? With favorable wins, with the Eagle, how on earth did that happen? So, kill something, run our Sarkin. Yeah, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. And go. Opponent with a mono black so far. Do they have another color? Nah. Who needs other colors when you have black? Let's go ahead and shock away the potential lifelinker. Let's get our Sarkin down. I think we can start. Do we loot away land? Or do we loot away other Sarkin?
Call me mad. Don't doubt my
I'm gonna drop off. I'm gonna drop off the land. I have faith we'll get more. See? Easy. Easy. I like keeping the other one around because the opponent might just have a way to kill this. An Elder Spell, a Vraska's Contempt. These are things. They could happen. They could happen to anyone. All right. I need this. Yeah, legit. Okay. I think we want to play you. Do I want to trade it, though, for the Vampire of the Dire Moon? I suppose. Could be a lot worse. We got them swamps. We got that Thurston Bloodlord. Come at me, bro. What a pose, by the way. Like, yo, check me out. I'm in front of a moon. It is dire. All right. We'll take that and upgrade you into a 2/2 flying fire-breathing Drake. There's our Chandra.
Anyone need a fire started? No? Too bad.
Yes.
Drop you off. Oh, we didn't get the mountain. Okay. There is a shock down there, though, that I can get. But I think, yeah, we just push the loyalty, right?
We can do this together.
We can do this together. Sarkin and Chandra, working as a team. Somebody's going to get attacked this turn, but if the opponent has to attack with both, we can trade our dragon for the Bloodlord, potentially. If the opponent removes the dragon, of course, that's pretty bad. The Aerialist. That's obnoxious. Yep, here's the attack. Fire breathing.
Strike like you mean it.
There's a 3/4. That's a little obnoxious. If we hit... Oh, wait, we can do this. So 2 mana of any combination. Red. Bring out your whelp. And oops, now we can't activate you. Sometimes I make mistakes. Just letting y'all know. Let's keep pushing the narrative, though.
Study?
Oh, I could have played the other Chandra and ultimated. Why am I so bad at Magic today? All right, your turn. Your turn. That was a punted turn. I didn't get my trigger off the whelp, and I also didn't do anything. Like, I also didn't ultimate the Sarkin. I could have done either, and I blew it. But I think we can make it up. Okay, here's the attack. We can go lightning strike ya homie. Jump away with the whelp. Zero, put on the counters. Minus, make the dragons.
Magnificent.
We still have a lightning strike available, that's fine. The 5/5s are here. Magnificent. We're just gonna hold the lightning strike until our opponent is about to gain life, then we'll shoot down one of the aerialists. And yeah, the opponent has a murder. That's something. It takes out one of our dragons. Another red off the top. Don't need that. We need this.
Don't need this. I need this.
Not bad. Pretty accurate. Are we going for the double? We're going for the double.
Fire's study? Focus?
9 and 4.
Burn stuff already.
Let's send one dragon. The opponent could go in for a double block. We could strike away one of the aerialists, but they'll take the 5. And let's say go. Let's see, next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more dragons. Moida. You've been moided. So the right play is to let my opponent attack. And then once they've attacked the Sarkin, get the block and do the blowout, which is the lightning strike on the aerialist. and then we also get to eat the other aerialist, but I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it specifically this way so the opponent doesn't get blown out in combat, so they don't concede. I'm playing against concession, because if I absolutely wipe out my opponent's board with that play, I think they're going to scoop and I don't get to do the fun thing I want to do. So I'm actively playing I'm playing suboptimally to prevent concession. Welcome to the life of a YouTuber.
Find your fires of passion within. Fire spreads fast with help.
All right, double Chandra.
Chandra, you need more control. Just let me burn.
Man, she's so obnoxious. I don't find that cute. Oh, where are you going? I played against the concession and they still scooped before I got to make 4 more dragons. I tried. All right, let's take a look back at the deck and talk about changes we would make. As much as I enjoyed my time with Sarkhan's Whelp, it was a very underwhelming card. I agree with the Chain Whirlers that were here before, as they're a very strong blocker and a way to keep a lot of small pesky creatures away from your planeswalkers, so I would encourage getting Chain Whirler in there. Dragon Egg also came up very short for me. It was kind of in the same spot of the curve that the planeswalkers are, and I really don't want more occupancy there, especially if we're going to move Chain Whirler back into the deck, which you certainly should if you have it, and I would run 3, maybe 4. Then I would either run a 2-drop or some good 4-drops. It's not rotation proof for certain, but Rekindling Phoenix can be a very good blocker in this type of deck and give it a little more play. I was not impressed with Direfleet Daredevil. I don't think I flashed back an opponent's spell a single time, and that probably has a lot to do with my issues with the card. But I think that we could try to find something else, someone else to play this role. And it does feel like we need more early 1- and 2-drop type plays to keep the opponent away from our creatures. One thing you may want to consider is Chandra's Ember Cat. Although we only have the Acolytes of Flame, I guess that's not very enticing at all. This says whenever you play a non-creature spell, it gets +1/+0 and scries 1. Maybe that's not the worst thing with a bunch of planeswalkers, but it's not particularly enticing either, not particularly powerful. So I still think there's work to do in the deck, and since I'm only working on it here for a day or 2, I would say that I really want to give some great advice because I appreciate the Patreon donation, but I think what we really need, honestly, are some early red cards that are kind of value driven from the new set. I wouldn't be opposed to a Tormenting Voice, but it's not like we're using our graveyard either, so that card doesn't stand out to me as a great idea. Maybe we just have to say, screw the mana curve, all of our cards are going to get cast costing 3, 4, or 5 mana, and just have a very expensive deck. And to be honest, that might be the way it has to be. Until rotation, though, I would certainly want to keep... we don't need the Spitflame because we don't have as many dragons now. I cut out a lot of the smaller dragons like the Whelp and the Dragon's Egg, so that can go. But we might want to try some Chandra Fire Artisans, some more Chandra Planeswalkers since it has synergy with the other cards in the deck. And I would try Rekindling Phoenix until it rotates, quite honestly. That's where I'd want to be. A big blocker who's a threat on its own, can protect Sarkhan, can go aggro. Like, that's kind of the big red card of choice that I default to when I'm not sure what else to go in the deck. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. We're going to read off the comment that I enjoyed the most from this video. Let me see if I can pull it up here for all of you. And the one that's going to win the $25 gift code to Cool Stuff Inc. There were many great comments, so I want to thank all of you who left comments on the video. There's actually a lot of comments on this video, and by the way, this is my Kethis combo deck video from a couple days ago. It's Top Tier Kethis is kind of the primary name of it. Go check that out. The comments, I said to leave a link and a description of your favorite YouTube video on Magic the Gathering. And there were a lot of links and a lot of great ideas. Many of them weren't mine. A lot of some standouts from Day 9, Primal Hunt Cheeks, Noxious, Merchant, Mogwai, Mono Black Magic got mentioned a lot. And I may be a YouTuber. I'm competing for time with all of these great content creators, but I'm also a fan. And by all means, you should go down the list. You should check out those videos. It's probably some of the best videos you could watch because somebody remembered it enough to leave it in a comment weeks and months later. So by all means, go to that video, go through the comments and watch the videos mentioned there. And if you leave a comment on videos for other content creators that you discovered because of this, tell them CGB sent you. Now, let's go. Let's reveal the comment. I don't know if you can see that all very well. I'd have to like really like over magnify it. Maybe I can do it like this, huh? How do I, like, control shift or control plus? Yeah, there it is. All right. So I picked this one, and it is a little bit self-serving, I've got to be honest, but it contained a lot of things that, quite honestly, bring up many of the best feelings I've had about Magic. So Juan Herrera is our winner. It was really hard to pick one comment, just as Juan says, hard to pick one video. I'm going to go ahead and read it. A moment that will always stay with me is from one of the Hakumites. These were tournaments hosted by Hakim928 in Magic Duels many years ago. When you were losing to Thopters, and I think it was Hakim's deck that would go on to win the whole thing. He placed second, but Thopter's deck did win the whole thing. And your only out was to top deck a Radiant Flames. So my opponent's board is like 1,000,000 Thopters and artifacts, and they're swinging for lethal next turn. And I have to draw this card, Radiant Flames, which is a lot like Flame Sweep, like you saw in this video. You held out to the last possible second, and you eventually went for a long shot using your last removal spell. I had a 1-for-1 Rolling Thunder removal spell. It could deal X damage to any target like a Banefire, and I'm a ramp deck, so I have a ton of mana. But I used it on Hakim's own Rune Servitor. Rune Servitor is an artifact 2/2. When it dies, both players draw a card. When it dies, both players draw a card. So I pointed my giant Banefire-like spell at the Rune Servitor so that both players would draw a card because I needed to draw Radiant Flames. I only had 2 of them in my deck, and I needed to draw exactly that. And sure enough, Radiant Flames off the top. We played Radiant Flames. We swept the board. We went on to win that game and that match against Hakim928. So this was in a, how's that for a deep pull, says Juan Herrera. Sadly, I don't think that's archived, but perhaps you remember what I'm talking about. I will never forget that moment as long as I live. I hadn't played a Magic tournament in many years. I'd spent a lot of time away from the game, and when Hakim announced an Xbox Magic Duels tournament, and he was a content creator for YouTube, I was so excited. I went out and I bought an Xbox to participate in the tournament. I'd been playing Duels on my iPad. I literally bought my Xbox, was it a 360 at the time? I literally bought my Xbox 360. Oh, also in this tournament, you were required to stream. So this tournament that Hakim asked me to join, that I was so excited to play in after not playing Magic for competitive of any kind of Magic for years, I bought an Xbox 360 and I learned how to stream because of this tournament. And this was round 3, I believe, of this tournament. I got matched up against Hakim, the organizer, and a great content creator himself. And we had this epic game with this epic top deck that I will never forget for as long as I live. And for somebody to mention that in the comments and bring back the feels of that day are really important. And they're important for another reason. And it's going to be a bit of a downer, but Hakim died in a car accident. We lost him at the age of, I believe he was 38 years old, and we lost him earlier this year. And my God, do I miss him. We still talked for years after. He sort of stopped the Magic content game, focused on other things in life. And I miss him a lot. So just about any time somebody can bring back a great memory that I had with him, it's going to push the emotional triggers. So this was my favorite comment for all those reasons and more. So thank you, Juan Herrera. I'm going to be in touch with you to get you your $25 gift code to coolstuffinc.com. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring the channel. Now, if you're all still with me, thank you for hanging in there. Put that you stayed in the end in the comments. It really makes me feel good. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.